If it doesn't scare you, it won't change you. Happy Halloween, everybody. My name is Mohammed, and I'm back to make a video about Halloween candy. The do's and don'ts, and what you shouldn't do. You know, how we're not going to touch the kids' candies? Yeah. And us as parents, we have a duty. You know, we have to eat all that candy. We can't just give it to the kids, right? Yeah. So here's some advice and some tips to get that out of the house. And that's my recommendation. Get it out of the house. So we're going to have bags and bags of candy today. And it's going to be more than we could chew. Literally. One time a year, we're just okay with tons of candy. And does it affect us? Does it affect our children? Well, do you remember the first time you gave your son soda or candy? Or your son or daughter? What did they do? How did they react? Did they get addicted? Well, I know my kids did. In fact, we sent them over to their grandparents' house, and that was the first time that they gave our kids chocolate. I remember. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. I love you guys. Anyways, I remember that they got instantly hooked. In fact, they were asking when they should go back. And they were young, 1 and 2 years old. With that being said, it is crucial. And it is a problem. Candy will affect our kids. You see, people are confusing diabetes with eating eating too much sugar, but that's not really the case. It's the types of sugar that you're ingesting. You see, diabetes in general, people don't understand how you get it. And what I'm going to tell you is, you don't get it from eating cake. You actually get it from the shortening in cake. We have receptors in our body that receive the sugar. And when these receptors, when they're unable to receive the sugar because they've been saturated with so much shortening, oil, Crisco, pan, olive oil, anything that is used in baking, cooking, in candies, packaging, this oil, this preservative, this lubricant, I guess you would say, these are what cover those receptors. And remember, those receptors are connected to the energy of the body. And they tell the brain, whenever it needs energy, to go to these receptors and pull it out of the blood. Well, these receptors are located in the blood. Whenever you ingest sugar, let's say we just have a Tootsie Roll. The body's going to separate all the oils out of that Tootsie Roll. And that oil is going to get caught right on that receptor that the energy source sent into the blood. Now this receptor is now covered with oil. The sugar is still in the blood. The sugar from the Tootsie Roll is going to travel all around the body. It's going to go to the kidneys, the heart, the brain, the happy glands. It's going to make you feel good. You're going to get them emotions. You're going to feel good like any candy would make you feel. But the body did not receive the sugar. Why? Because it's constantly being blocked by the oils. Over time, the receptors are completely covered. When the receptor is completely covered, the free sugars are left in the blood. And they continue to travel all around the body, causing weight gain excess, causing major cravings, causing frequent urination, constantly hungry. It's because these receptors are covered and their body's not receiving them, just loading the blood. And how do you test for that? You prick your finger and you take a sugar test, a blood glucose test. And this test will tell you whether you're out of normal range. And usually you are. Now, our younger kids, they tend to get very addicted to this sugar very quickly. Now, some tips and some ideas that I use at my home. I try to keep things very simple, very, very natural. I've put it in our head, and it's always going to be a working progress. It's a working progress. It's not today, no candy for the rest of, that just doesn't happen. This is something that's unrealistic. So you want to make a goal that's more realistic for you and your family. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. We started very simple. We said no more packaged foods. Now people might say, wait a minute, there's a lot of packaged foods. Well, if you feel like there's a lot of packaged foods in your life, then you need to reassess what you're giving your kids, because that's putting a lot of pressure and stress on their little body's metabolisms, and it will not be able to function very much longer, and it'll cause obesity in them. With that being said, start with packaged foods. No more cookies. If you want cookies, you're going to make them from scratch now. You're going to be the parents that will, gather it up, the milk, the baking, all that good stuff, which is very inexpensive and very natural. Now, you do have to be careful about the word instant. Anything on the package that has the word instant, you should instantly avoid it. That's what that means for you. You really want to avoid as many middlemen between you, the farmer, and the crop, if that makes any sense. So in other words, rice. Rice is brown. That's how it comes to us. And there's certain forms that come in different colors. But as it's bleached and mechanically separated and all that good stuff, it turns this white color, which we enjoy white rice. But the actual rice grain isn't bad for you. Now they put a term on it. They labeled it. It's called brown rice. Well, there is no such thing as white rice in the wild. And what's to be understood about that is that it's mechanically made. This is what we want to avoid. The same scenario with flour. Flour is not white. Flour is white because it's bleached. Now, it kills the germ. It kills the germ in flour, meaning that we need that germ. We need that carbohydrate to have value to our body, to feel the grain. We need that, but it's taken out of there. Why? Supply and demand. It's just going to happen. Marketing. This is what happens. So my recommendation is everything in your cupboards, closets, outside, inside, fast food, slow food, everything should be organic. And I know what you're thinking. That's just too expensive. The truth of the matter, it isn't. That's a myth. It isn't expensive. Me and my wife, we shop at Kroger often. And what I did notice about that is that their organic section really looks beat up compared to the other sections. And I'm like, you know what? That seems like very good marketing. Because if it's organic, it looks like hell. And if it's not organic, it looks great, which is a misconception. It shouldn't be more expensive to grow a plant naturally. And it isn't. Now, this would mean that you're going to have to do a little bit more research, but the food benefits, the benefits that you're going to get from the food are stuff that we cannot measure. Your weight is going to level. It will level. There will be no scientists involved in cooking and making your food, because that's what the world is about. Now, there's too much scientists in the kitchen. Anyways, let's not get too far off of the topic of Halloween. I hope everybody enjoys their Halloween. Choose a very long route so you can get your walk in. Because we all want to walk, we want to enjoy it, try to keep our kids active. And my recommendation is the joy in it is not with candy. The joy in it is with being with the family, getting dressed up, having a good laugh, taking wonderful pictures, and enjoying the memory. It never, and it can include some candies. But let's be a little bit more responsible what we give our kids. Okay, my name is Mohammed, and this is the Halloween special. Hopefully everybody enjoys their Halloween and has a very safe Halloween. Okay, bye-bye.